My first art critic analysis will be focused on The Milliners by Edgar Degas. The painting may be found at the J. Paul Getty Museum. Edgar Degas was a French impressionist, painter, sculptor, and printmaker born July 19, 1834 in Paris, France. Degas was known for his paintings that were dedicated to Parisian life. Degas' principal subject was the human, especially the female figure, which he explored in works ranging from the sombre portraits of his early years to the studies of laundresses, cabaret singers, milliners, and prostitutes of his Impressionist period. Degas was an artist who experimented with diverse techniques and materials, including oil, pastel, gouache, etching, lithography, monotype, wax modeling, and even photography. Within the years 1882 to 1886, Degas was celebrated for creating several paintings of women in hat shops which portrayed the customers or the milliners working on making hats, as shown as in the painting I have chosen. Edgar Degas has spent approximately 30 years creating more than 20 paintings, pastels, and drawings of millinery shops. Paintings tell us a lot about the artist and what they are trying to say to us through the use of carefully chosen colors, expressions, and symbols. The milliners depict two milliners sitting at the work table at the millinery shop. The woman on the right looks as if she's working deliberately on a black hat that she is holding. If you look closely, the woman on the left is holding a pink fabric. However, she seems as if she's in deep thought with a woeful look on her face. The bright colored ribbons, pink, yellow, orange, and green, draw attention to the drabness of the room and its inhabitants. The painting is painted using a very dull and desaturated colors, which can depict the reality of hardship the working class face. His voyeuristic yet empathetic portrait of the milliner's private world focuses on the physical hardships of their work. The woman at the left embodies the painter's concern. Even at the rest, her wiry body and pallid skin register a life of hard work and meager reward. Life for the average person in the 1800s was hard. Many lower class people worked long hours in harsh conditions. There are many ribbons in the center of the table, which can signify that there's still much work to be done. When it comes to color and line work, Degas seemed equally attracted to the severity of line and the sensuous delights of color, echoing a historic tension that was still much debated in his time. My second art critic analysis will focus on Paul Cézanne, young Italian woman at a table. Paul Cézanne was born in 1839 in southern France in a city called Aix-en-Provence. In his youth, Cézanne attended law school due to his father's command, though he always had a love for the arts. Cézanne was eventually able to persuade his father to let him pursue a career in the arts and went to Paris to further his knowledge of art. To better understand Paul Cézanne's art, one must take a look at his life and work as an artist. Paul Cézanne was a post-impressionist artist who is acknowledged for his incredible, diverse painting style, which greatly influenced 18th century abstract style art. Cézanne had a vast interest in many different types of painting styles. He is known for creating a connection between Impressionism of the late 19th century and the Cubism of early 20th century. Paul Cézanne also had a great impact on modern art. Cézanne famously painted ordinary objects and locations such as fruits, still lifes, portraits, and landscapes. Additionally, the French painter is celebrated for his innovative style. What made Cézanne great was that he challenged how those objects were traditionally depicted and emphasized his own sensations, visual experiences, and perception in his work. He even argued just by looking at his paintings that one could smell them. His paintings can educate us a lot about the way we see and perceive the world around us. Cézanne's art can be partly attributed to his knowledge of stereoscopy and binocular vision. Stereoscopy concerns itself with the phenomenon of depth perception that occurs when we look at something with both eyes. The technique helps us realize how far away certain objects actually are. According to Cézanne, our depth perception is suggested by the eye but not actually visible to us. The technique also adds a three-dimensional effect to paintings and adds the depth to a flat image. The impact of this technique made Cézanne's art differ from historic ideals of perspective, such as linear perspective arising during the Renaissance. Since Cézanne's revolutionary approach had a vast influence on Cubism and modern art, he is often called the father of modern art, or as Picasso and Braque referred to him, the father of us all. Young Italian Woman at a Table by Paul Cézanne is regarded as one of the greatest 20th century paintings in the classical revival style. The painting can be found in the Getty Museum. The famous painting depicts a woman leaning on the table with her hand on the side of her head. The woman has a mysterious expression on her face, which doesn't tell us much about how she's feeling. Artists usually use this pose and expression to portray a look of melancholy. The use of bold and individual strokes of color gives the woman a dominant presence. His later works, such as Young Italian Woman, have an enormous sense of volume, breathing, pulsating, expanding, contracting through his use of colors. The space behind the woman looks almost confusing because the painting doesn't show us clearly if the woman is far to the wall or close. Because of the composition used by the artist, the location of the wall, the flatness of the table, and the size of the room remain obscure. Young Italian Woman is typical of Cézanne's late style of figure painting, and it shows us a great balance of silence and stillness.